Samsung's budget phones are now finally worth your attention. So earlier this year, Samsung launched the Galaxy A10 to A80 series of smartphones, and I reviewed two out of those smartphones, the A20 and the A70, and I thought they were great smartphones considering their price. Today, I have the Samsung Galaxy A20s. First, let's get the specifications out of the way. You've got a smartphone with 6.5-inch 720p Infinity V IPS LCD screen that has a PPI of 264. You get 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gig of internal storage with the version that I have. There's a dedicated MicroSD card slot that supports up to 1 terabyte of storage. Now, the A20s comes with an octa-core Snapdragon 450 processor clocked at 1.8 GHz and an Adreno 506 GPU. Now, powering everything on this phone is a 4000 mAh battery, which should be just enough for a day plus of use. Now, the battery supports fast charging at 15 watts, and thankfully, the included charger also supports fast charging at 15 watts. Now, in the camera department, we get a triple lens setup at the rear of the device. These cameras include a 13 megapixel f1.8 27mm wide angle lens and an 8 megapixel f2.2 13mm ultra wide angle lens and a third 5 megapixel f2.2 depth sensing lens. Now, these trio make up what is a very decent and capable camera system on the A20s. Now, up front on this smartphone, we have a single front-facing camera that's 8 megapixel and has an aperture of f2.0. For the physical features on this device, you have the power button to the right of the device, and I might say that the placement of this button is quite high up. If you've got small hands, reaching this button will be a stretch. Now, the volume rockers are to the left of the device, and you've got a centered rear-placed fingerprint reader with the camera module to the left top corner. There's also a 3.5mm headphone port, a USB-C charging port, and the external speaker grills at the bottom of the device. Nothing but a microphone hole at the top of the device. The device supports the GSM, HSPA, and LTE network. It's got an inbuilt FM radio receiver. It comes with Bluetooth 4.2 and a dedicated microphone for active noise cancellation. On the software side of things, the A20s runs Samsung's One UI on Android 9.0 Pie, and it's the same One UI that we know from the S10 and the Note 10 series. It's fast and it's smooth as can be, and you should be fine with it in everyday use. Now, for color options, you'll be able to get the A20s in black, blue, red, and green colors. We've got a triple camera setup that includes a main, ultra wide angle, and a depth sensing camera, and these are the best combination of camera lenses in my opinion. So a couple of the shots I took using the main camera were mostly clean and had good details, especially on the good lighting conditions. For a budget smartphone, these images are very encouraging. The ultra wide angle camera captures very decent images, but not quite as good as what you have on the Note 10 and S10 series. Images from the wide angles are decent with some distortions at the edges, but images are mostly clear and detailed, although grainy when you shoot images with a wide angle lens in low light situations. As for the selfie camera, results aren't too good. There's a lot of smoothing going on and the images just seem to lack proper details. If you blow up an image, you can clearly see how the image become like really noisy. You can see all the noise in the image. But overall, the images from the Galaxy A20s are decent, usable, and should be satisfactory for casual use. Now, the rear camera shoots videos at 1080p at 30 frames per second, but the videos are not stabilized but can produce really good looking shots if you use a tripod. You sometimes get blown out highlights in places like the sky and where you have a bright light shining like in the background, but overall it's decent. So for performance, I had some concerns with the performance on the Galaxy A20. It was a bit slow and had occasional stutters while performing your day-to-day tasks. But with the A20s, Samsung included the Snapdragon 450 processor, making the A20s feel much more smoother and faster than the A20 before it. Now, apps and games loaded much faster and ran much better than in the A20. I was mostly satisfied with the performance on the A20s. Battery life performance on the A20s was a champ. The 4000 mAh battery paired with that 720p display is a winning formula for great battery life. I typically get more than a day of use on the device with about 25% of battery life left at the end of the day. Now, 2D and 3D games play fairly well, with the 3D games requiring settings to be at medium for you to have a smooth playing experience. Let's talk about the video and audio for a bit. The A20s plays videos capped at 720p, although its images look good and color representations are okay, but the pictures on this display do not look really vibrant. Yes, it's an LCD screen and I've seen better LCD panels out there with much vibrant colors, but the videos look good though, and the human eye should be totally fine with anything 720p. Audio output on the A20s is fine. The listening experience using plug-in earbuds was great. The balance between high, mid, and low tones were really impressive. I mean, it was balanced all through. You don't get anything shrieking or the bass being too deep. I dare say Samsung used some really decent quality DAC on this device for the audio. For the build quality on the A20s, it's made with plastic, and this plastic scratches quite easily as with any other plastic phone that you have out there, but the device looks gorgeous and I like the way it feels in the hand. It's comfortable to hold but sometimes gets slippery. If you're concerned with your device scratching up over time, simply use a case to protect your device. The phone is a big phone, and to give you perspective on how big it is, I put it in my Samsung Galaxy A20s case and it fit perfectly. Now that's really big. In terms of pricing, the A20s will retail for 56,600 naira, which isn't too bad for a device with these specs. Now, while you get great battery life for a low price with the Galaxy A20s, you'll have to make some trade-offs in build quality and screen quality. But Samsung's Galaxy A20s also takes very good photos and sports a clean software experience, making this device an intriguing option for budget-minded shoppers. At 56,600 naira, the A20s is playing at both the spec and price range of the A20 before it and also the Infinix S4. So if you love the Samsung brand and want to have a decent experience using Samsung's One UI in a sleek looking and affordable device, then you may want to consider getting the Galaxy A20s. Guys, if you have any questions about this device, please leave them in the comment section of this video. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it. But if you loved it, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button to support this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.